Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us some support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
Auto Club Speedway, a facility so nice you gotta race it twice. That is exactly what we intend to do here tonight, as it is rounds 5 and 6 of season number 4 of the Revolution Indy League Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, and it is right here on Raceverse. We are all geared up for our first leg of the program tonight, which is Auto Club Duel number 1, presented by Let's Race. Welcome, everybody, to Raceverse's coverage of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. I am not Gary Godso. My name is Tommy Cook. Gary had a family emergency he needed to tend to, so we were asked by the Raceverse crew to step in tonight in Gary's place. And in the meantime, we wish Gary and all of his family the best. I cannot wait for Gary to get back up here in the booth. But in the meantime, you're stuck with me. And lucky for you, we've got 2 races to call tonight. And to keep this mix-up going, joining me tonight in somewhat of a reduced capacity on the mic will be Mr. Matt Williamson. He'll be jumping in sporadically here throughout the contest tonight, but he's directing the stream, so he's going to be the guy you're watching his cues all night long. We'll get to him, but man, I am excited to be working with this gentleman here for the very first time this evening. He is a writer at jalopnik.com and the co-host of the Motorsports 101 podcast. Mr. Ryan Eric King is joining me here tonight. I say hello and good evening to you, and I'm going to apologize right out of the gate because Raceverse prides itself on being the most informative place to watch IndyCar sim racing. And between you and Gary, I think everybody agrees that that's true. I don't bring a lot of historical knowledge to the table. You're going to have to do the heavy lifting in that department. But I'm excited to be a sponge tonight and sit here and absorb everything that you have to say as we watch a race around this 2.8-mile infield circuit. We're going to do 30 laps here for the first leg of the duel. What can you tell us about this track and that it's kind of a historical blank slate here?
Yeah, in terms of the road course that they're using for the first of these duels tonight, IndyCar's never raced on a road course here at Auto Club Speedway. To my knowledge, well, to me the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to road course racing at Auto Club is back in the early 2000s when the AMA Superbike Championship raced here. And we had the likes of well, in my mind, it was a bit before my time in superbikes. When I think American Superbike, I think the age of, well, Ben Spies and Matt Miladin in terms of motorcycle racing here in the U.S.
But no open wheel racing anywhere in the logbooks of this. Not even so much as a test session. Anything that we can find that there has been an IndyCar kart, anything on this track before?
No, I'd say the only times that, IndyCar has come road course racing, so to speak, in Southern California is obviously the Grand Prix of Long Beach and the back when Riverside Raceway was still around.
Rest in peace. Fantastic facility. So coming back to last week, it'll be 2 road course races back-to-back. The only time that occurs on the summer 2022 calendar. With that, Matt, if you would, let's take a look at the results from round number 4 at Belle Isle. Gavin Sanders absolutely dominated this race, notching his 9th career Schaeffer's IndyCar Series victory, his first of the season. Caleb Bensi, Bruno Miranda rounded out the podium, both leading a couple of laps during the pit cycle. Nicholas Johnson and Logan Spaeth rounded out your top 5. And now we'll head over to the current point standings after 4 rounds of competition. Coming into the doubleheader here tonight, it's Bruno Miranda nursing an 8-point lead over Nicholas Johnson. Now that we're a third of the way through season number 4, what has jumped out to you at this point so far in competition?
Ooh, so far this season, I like between Belle Isle, the ridiculous race we had at the Rockingham.
Yes, very ridiculous.
I'd say that while the race winners have been fairly unpredictable for the most part, our championship protagonists have been making the most of it and just having those consistent races. What people tend to love seeing in championship racing, having high, consistent finishes week in, week out.
You kind of mentioned it there. 4 races, 4 different winners. We've got 2 different layouts here tonight at Auto Club that sort of lend themselves to calamity each. We all know anything can happen when we get a dash-style race going at the 2-mile oval, but we'll table that conversation for a little bit later. Are we looking for a 5th different winner to start the season here at the road course, or are we sticking tried and true our championship protagonist, as you said?
I think the road course will give us a repeat winner. But I have a gut feeling we'll get a new winner on the oval later tonight.
Something tells me that you might be right about that. Should mention as we look at the point standings here that we have a drop week that'll figure into the final standings. Caleb Bensi has already used his freebie. Everybody else has it coming into this evening. If you miss a race, you're sort of in the hole, so to speak, for now until everybody gets their drop. It doesn't really bother me because I've been competing in air quotes this season, and I'm 41st in points tonight. So me missing these 2 races really isn't going to affect the final championship standings at all tonight. In fact, I think all the drivers should be thanking Gary for pulling me up into the booth here tonight because I am. No matter how bad you think I am as a broadcaster, I am infinitely better at this than I am at driving an IR18 car. So thank you to Gary for keeping me off the track here tonight, and all the competitors are rejoicing about that. We are about halfway through qualifying, actually a little bit over the halfway mark, and as it stands right now, your provisional poll, like you said, no surprise to see some of these names floating on the top of the scoring pylon right now. Nicholas Johnson with a 1:19.461. He leads the way currently. Gavin Sanders, Christopher Hill, Matthew Short, Nate Schaeffer. 2 guys that really need a good run there in 3rd and 4th and know how to get it done on the road courses. Christopher Hill and Matthew Short provisionally right now inside of the top 5 starting spots. We will see more as we roll along here. Mr. Matt Williamson, welcome in. Who are you watching here live on the stream? Who are we keeping our eye on as this rolls along?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're rolling around with Christopher Hill at the moment. We were just watching Nicholas Johnson here a second ago. We got Matthew Short and Nate Schaeffer currently in the top 5 in qualifying. So rolling around with some familiar names here tonight, and looking forward to what these fine drivers have for us here on the road course.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Matt and I were the tag team duo that did the RIL Daredevil series, formerly the RIL Legends series, on our own channel on Twitch. That was with the Lotus 79 car. It was sort of a retro throwback. We tried the kart style schedule. It's going to be mixed up a little bit for season 2. We'll have some exciting announcements as this season rolls along for the big boys. We're just kind of the side attraction, if you will. But a lot of the same names rolling up front here, no surprise, in the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar series. But some new guys for us, for you and I, Matt, that we have to keep our eyes on. One guy I don't see, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see our current points leader, Ryan. Is Bruno Miranda here?
I do not see him in the server for the race, and that might throw the championship of a huge curveball if he misses not one but two races.
That's the thing, is if you're busy tonight and you want to be a contender for the championship, this is not the week to miss. You're going to miss 2 races. That cancels out the drop week. You're actually going to miss a race. So that's especially for Bruno, who I think his worst finish this season is 6th, if I remember correctly. I mean, he has been lights out for being the highest driver in points to not win a race thus far. I mean, he certainly would be a threat to win tonight if he were to appear in the late in the qualifying procession right now. But yeah, Bruno Miranda not here. That's surprising, and hopefully he at least shows up for the oval race a little bit later. I think maybe you would agree with this, maybe you wouldn't. I feel like he would have a better shot at good points at this race rather than the oval, and maybe just for this venue, it's a little bit of a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a crapshoot, but for a driver like Miranda, he always gets the car home and almost guarantees you a top 10 every night. And while, say, he might not win either of the races tonight, I could almost be for certain that he could probably bring the most points home out of anyone tonight if he had participated in both the races.
It is interesting. Like, you want to win both races, but it's more about average finish, kind of, at this point.
Yeah, and especially, you only get one drop week, and this is 2 races. I'd say the oval race is, again, a bit of a crapshoot because, especially with the IR18, it can get a bit packy early on in stints here. So, one person makes a mistake and you get collected in a massive accident. But on the road course, things are more in your hands, so to speak.
Should mention also, standard, well, I guess not standard because at Belle Isle we only had 24 grid spots. Tonight we are back to 33. There are only 32 drivers in the session, 30 of which have taken a time. So unless we get to a very late entry and a quick lap from a couple of different people, we are not going to have any bumping here tonight. Everybody will make the grid, at least for the road course portion of this. 2.8 miles, 19 turns. What are some things to pay attention as the race rolls along tonight, especially when it comes to pit strategy? A little bit of a shorter race here tonight, 30 laps.
Yeah, it's a shorter race, so it's going to be about making sure that when you do make that stop, that it has to be good, because you're only going to make one tonight.
We had Matt Houston in here a couple of minutes before we went on stream, and he said the opinion of this infield circuit anyway is a little bit up in the air with the drivers. It's kind of a funky layout, and it's also not a permanent facility. It's not a facility that seems to be, or at least at the time of scanning, and not very tended to, as there's not a whole lot of curbs on some of the important corners. There's traffic cones everywhere. It is an interesting facility. It seems like it's much like its oval counterpart. It kind of lends itself to some danger here.
Yeah, like how I opened the show. This infield course is mainly used for club racing purposes, and the only real professional usage it had were for essentially high-grade production motorcycles. It wasn't really intended for something like this.
So as you said there, since there's no open wheel track record, I guess the closest thing you can compare it to is just the closed course record in general for it, which was Didier Tays in a Dallara LMP 900 in 2002 with a time of 1:29.322. We've smashed that tonight. Already, just the fastest in practice was Gavin Sanders with a 1:19.556. We're already 10 seconds up on that. And 119.035 right now is provisional pole for Nicholas Johnson as we are in the closing seconds of qualifying here. And it was a open qualifying session, so I believe everybody will get to come around and finish the lap that they're on. And that will be it for qualifying. Watching Caleb Bensey come across the line. He goes up to second on his final lap. Boy, that's quite the difference between the top two there. A 119.035 and a 119.664. That's that is a lot.
Yeah, if Johnston can maintain that in race conditions, this shouldn't be close.
No, not at all. Of course, Nicholas Johnson, already a winner here this season, won at Barber Motorsports Park in round number 2. And that was, if we have anything like the racing that we had at Barber Motorsports Park, we're in for an interesting race, I'll say that. But who was it, Grzelski? He's not in here tonight, but he was not the instigator there. He was more the victim a couple of times over. But still looking forward to some aggressive racing up front here tonight as we're down to the last 10 seconds of qualifying officially here. We will get into the starting grid momentarily here for round number 5 of the season. It is Auto Club Duel number 1 presented by Let's Race. And I believe it is time for our starting grid. Go ahead and give it to you. The driver on pole with a time of 119.035 seconds. That is driver number 28, Nicholas Johnson, with his first pole of the season, I do believe. Starting to his outside is car number 1, Caleb Bensey. On row number 2, a winner from Rockingham a couple of weeks ago is Connor Baldwin in car number 19. Starting to his outside, the 54 of Brody Garner. Rounding out your top 5 starters here tonight is the Canadian driver of car number 10, Gavin Sanders, a winner last week at Belle Isle. To his outside is one driver I'm going to be watching, needs a good rebound here and has a good opportunity to get it. Coming off of 4 straight DNFs to start the season, that's the 101 of Christopher Hill. Inside of row number 4, another good driver who's looking for a rebound after the start that he did not want to this season. Car number 35, Matthew Short. To his outside, he was the champion in the Daredevil Series. Car number 82, Dakota DeMade, will start in the 8th spot. On row number 5, on the inside, is driver number 2, Matt Schaeffer out of Oskaloosa, Iowa. To his outside is Team Raceverse proprietor, car number 66, Matt Houston, will round out your top 10 starters. Starting on row number 6, on the inside, car number 29, Shane Coogan. To the outside of Coogan, in car number 4, Daniel Miglin. Behind him, car number 15, Drew White, will start in the 13th spot. To his outside, in timing anyway, is the 47 of Michael DeTurk. DeTurk has an EOL penalty from the last race at Belle Isle, so he will have to drop to the back. Row number 8 on the inside, the 02 of JJ Wang. Logan Spaeth will start to his outside. Row number 9 is Frankie Franchica. I am saying that wrong. I know it for sure. Justin Miller will start to his outside. You've got the Let's Race proprietor, Joshua Tucker, and Christian Jasper on row number 10. Matt Cosgrove, Nicholas Isidro, Nagisa Yoshikawa, and Christopher Kresge on row number 12. Behind them, Lucas Santos also has an EOL. Jonathan Liberatore, Aaron Moss, Matthew Johnston, Callie Bagnan, Hayden Herman, and Bruno Miranda, I believe, is here. He's showing up on my sim anyway. Hunter Engrave and DL Lemon round out your field. Getting ready for 30 laps around the Auto Club infield sports car circuit. And, oh boy. We are green. Nicholas Johnson, they are 4 wide behind him.
Oh, I hope they know that they have to go onto the road course.
Being sort of sorting themselves out here, but it's a hard braking zone into this left-hander. Johnson has company. Car to his inside. Oh, they're stacking up behind him. Further back in the pack, a couple of cars around. Big pile up there. Nicholas Johnson up front maintains the lead.
And just as a quick update, Miranda started from pit lane and he's just rolling off now.
Well, it's good that he missed that. It is disappointing that he didn't get the posted time, however. Is that Christopher Hill up in second place right now, I do believe. Trying to learn the cars as well as we roll along here. Still Nicholas Johnson, he takes a couple of cones with him on his way through turns 16, 17, 18, and 19. And he will make it back out to the front straightaway to lead lap number 1. Connor Baldwin right now under fire from Caleb Bensey for the second spot as they hit oval turn number 1.
If they keep fighting each other for second, it's going to give Johnson a chance to pull away.
Johnson looking to do just that with Gavin Sanders and Christopher Hill pulling up onto this battle as well. Some looky-loos. Now, oh, up over the back wing, 3 cars. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Baldwin, Sanders, Caleb Bensey. Wow. And just like that, things changed so dramatically up front. That's going to give Nicholas Johnson a huge lead. Christopher Hill is now going to go up through to second. Nate Schaeffer up to third. Matthew Short, Dakota DeMade now the top 5. And things a little more orderly. Not really a battle until you get back to Gavin Sander, who's back up to speed, I'm sure, with plenty of damage, though. He was the first victim of that. Matt, if you can, let's try and get a replay of that and let me know when you get it queued up.
Yeah, because it is definitely an interesting incident we're going to want to see again.
Yeah, we're going to have that queued up here in just a second for you here. And we are going to take a little looky here. And this is Baldwin. I didn't see who actually went over the top.
I think it was Gavin Sanders.
Baldwin was the first one on the radio after the incident. He was questioning what had actually happened.
I think it might have been.
It's pretty understandable.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sanders went over the top of Bensey, and Baldwin just got kind of collected in it. Certainly an unfortunate incident.
Yep, that's too bad. That's a lot of the championship frontrunners. Connor Baldwin, 10th in points coming into the evening with the win at Rockingham. Tonight was going to be his 3rd start in the season. That's why he was a little bit down on the leaderboard. But what a hope-dashing start to his night.
Yeah, and on the other end of the spectrum of fortune, Nicholas Johnston, ahead by 3 seconds now.
Yeah, I'm sure he loved to see that. He was over half a second quicker than anybody else in qualifying, and so it was going to be kind of tough sledding to get him back into play, really, for anybody else. But I mean, the cars behind him didn't even get a chance to sort themselves out to see who the better car was. It was just over, just like that. Christopher Hill, Nate Schaeffer kind of drawing closer together. That'll be the battle for second if that's gestates. Matthew Short kind of running a solo fourth right now. Dakota DeMade, Shane Coogan in close proximity. And Coogan just went through J.J. Wang, I believe.
Yeah, but
Actually, they both went through Daniel Miglin, actually.
And it's sort of interesting to point out, 40 seconds behind our leader. Bruno Miranda, already up to 22nd.
Wow. That's incredible. Even starting from the pits, and he's made up at least 10 spots, maybe, well, at least 8, maybe 10. That's quite the drive for Bruno Miranda. Nobody ever brought his talent into doubt. That's for sure. The Juncos Hollinger Racing entry and the current points leader has a lot of work to do still, but it's been an impressive drive for him thus far, no doubt. Now with an axe. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the battle for second's heating up here between Christopher Hill and Nate Schaeffer. One of our closest battles on the track at the moment.
Schaeffer has cut that deficit to just a couple of car lengths down this long internal straight. That's the thing. Are there any labels on any of the parts of the track here? There's no like cheeky names for any of these parts. I'm just kind of get lost in the layout of this track sometimes.
No, it's the corners are numbered. I kind of keep track by, because in the general scheme of things, it is an internal switchback where you go from one end of the infield and then back to the other side and then run down to NASCAR 4.
Matthew Short still has a little bit of distance on Dakota DeMade right now to round out the top 5. Shane Coogan has fallen off of DeMade just a little bit, and J.J. Wang is falling back from Shane Coogan. J.J.'s in 7th. Daniel Miglin is in 8th. Logan Spaeth is on pit road with some damage. Michael DeTurk already flirting with a run inside the top 10 after he took an EOL at the beginning of this race, so good recovery thus far from Michael DeTurk. Watching a battle right now for, I believe, the 10th position between Justin Miller and Jonathan Libertor. And DeTurk has inserted himself into this battle. Also joining the fray is Lucas Santos, who is another driver who had an EOL. They are 4 abreast here through some of the tightest turns in the entire track.
Yeah, looks almost like a scaled-up go-kart course.
I mean, it kind of is. DL Lemon is, I thought he had a problem, but I think he was just letting the leaders go through. He did put a message in the chat that said, I thought this was the oval race. So I don't think he was expecting to run the road course here tonight, but good for DL Lemon for toughing it out and also for being conscious of the leaders that are surrounding him. They are still battling for that second position. Nate Schaeffer, Christopher Hill. As Nicholas Johnson last time by was about 2.5 seconds ahead of this battle. So yeah, Nicholas Johnson at this point is needing to worry about pit strategy. I can't see what tires the leaders are on. I don't know if you can, or what tires anybody are on. You have to take the alternate compound here, and that's a concept that I'm a little fuzzy on. What is the tire strategy looking like for some of these leaders?
Oh, it's not quite clear, because normally we get a decent amount of practice, and, you know, I have some experience to call back upon to remember what the ideal strategy is here. But obviously this is not a normal road course. And
Definitely
I'd
not.
assume, personally, 30-lap race, I'd try to spend as little time on the optionals as possible, despite on paper them being faster. I'd probably try to set it up in a way where I do right? Start on the primary tire, go 20 laps, and then spend the last 10 on the reds, on the alternate reds.
That seems like a solid strategy. I heard a couple of people chirping this week that the alternate reds have quite a bit of fall off on this track, which is not completely unbelievable, as Christopher Hill just got passed by Nate Schaeffer for spot number 2. And, ooh, there was almost some contact behind him. That was nearly a big moment there with DeMade and Shane Coogan. Coogan locked him up, trying to avoid DeMade. And everybody gets through, no harm, no foul. And we soldier on. The advantage, I believe, is up to about 3.5 seconds. Just inside of 4 seconds, something like that, between Nicholas Johnson and Nate Schaeffer. Hey, did you guys know? I know Ryan knows this, but humor me if you will. Did you know that Raceverse is rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers? That is incredible. But what is more incredible is that over half of the audience that's watching this live stream right now is not subscribed to the channel. And you can fix that. If you're enjoying tonight's broadcast so far, you want to be notified about when Raceverse goes live every single week. All you need to do is hit that subscribe button. Click on the bell to get notified about every single race that we stream here on Raceverse. It's free, which means that it's well worth the price. And while you're down there subscribing, go ahead and click the like button for the stream as well. Every little bit helps. We really appreciate it. I don't think I was expecting this race to be as strung out as it was.
Yeah, you kind of get that at the, I'd say, lesser used facility, so to speak, where one aspect of driverability that's underspoken of on the ovals, well, on the road courses, is the ability to learn a track. How fastly can you get up to speed?
We just had a problem with Matthew Johnson. I believe he may have made some contact with Christopher Kresge, but he's got some pretty significant front-end damage to that car. And Matthew Johnson, trying to get it looped around right now, was running in the 14th position and made it just off of the back straightaway there and through that little kink before he was turned.
Something else to note here,
Yep.
Tommy, is Matt Houston also had an incident. Looks like he had a little bit of damage. No. And Daniel Miglin also went to the pits, so I don't know how much damage he had, but I'm assuming he probably took a fast repair.
Now, this is something that surprised me, Ryan, and I did not realize how little damage it took for this car to be finished. I mean, it's an open-wheel car. I know it's sensitive, but if you blow your motor in a NASCAR, somebody's trying to take a grass mowing expedition there. If you blow your motor in a NASCAR in the sim, you can sit there in the pits and fix the motor, which is silly, but it is a thing. And if you pick up some suspension damage, I mean that's it for this.
Yeah. Admittedly for the IR18, it's gone back and forth on iRacing, where in season 1 of this year, this car was relatively a tank, where you could brush a concrete wall, just do some repairs, you'll be fine. It's now got to the point where through updates it's swung back the other way, where it's gone to a more realistic approach, which understandable, where during a race situation for IndyCar, you damage a suspension on an open wheel car, there's no way your pit crew can fix that. They could bring it back to the shop and repair it,
right? But
during a race, no, it's not possible.
I think I was more just pouting because I was mad that I wrecked myself, and I wanted to. This is at Rockingham. I was the first caution on lap number 10, and
yes.
Gary had it right on the call. I had a little too much weight jacker in because I had my buttons bound backwards. So ooh. I thought I was tightening the car, and I was actually making it more loose every corner. So no surprise I only lasted 10 laps with that horrible strategy. Connor Baldwin just went off track and had to tow. I didn't see him pick up much damage, but he was in a precarious position, so he may rejoin the track. We've had quite a few people disconnect thus far. Matt Cosgrove, Frankie Franchica, Aaron Moss, Caleb Bensi has disconnected as well. So tough night for Bensi already, but will have an opportunity if he so chooses to redeem himself at the Oval. And he was the driver that I believe that has already used his drop as well. So can't afford many bad races going forward.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a season. Well, we have a decent amount of the season left, and it's going to be one where if you want to be in this championship hunt, you're going to need top fives. You're going to need wins at this point.
Nicholas Johnson coming up on some more lap traffic. Daniel Miglin is the driver in his crosshairs right now. Miglin running in the 21st position, so we've already made it up there that far here on working lap number 12, I do believe. So pit stops, you are saying, and this seems reasonable, but I just want to double check this. Pit stops around lap 20. As whoa, right in front of the race leader. Oh no. That was DL Lemon right in front of the race leader, and Johnston has a ton of damage on that car. He's in the grass. There goes Schaeffer through to the lead. Hill through to second. And just like that, everything changes.
In my days, I can't recall the last time I've seen anything like this.
Lemon, let me know, Matt, when you have a replay racked up there. That's some pretty significant damage to that car.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to cue this up here right quick.
The way I saw it was Lemon was trying to stay to the left of the track to stay out of the way of the leaders. Miglin and Johnson were working in close proximity to get around one another, and that was just a big pileup.
Yeah. It looked like Lemon he was going through the chicane, and to pull over, moved back across the racing line.
Two cars came together, and Johnston just had nowhere to go, plowed right through him.
Yeah, and we were talking about damage earlier on these cars. If you lose a wheel, even if it's still attached via one of the wheel tethers, that is not repairable.
Wow. Far and away the class of the field. And just like that, that's the end of the race. But now, on the flip side of that, we've got a battle for the lead. Nate Schaeffer's pass on Christopher Hill is also that much more important now. And they are just separated by a couple of car lengths still. Chili Wonka's not going anywhere. He's still hanging in tow. But for now, Nate Schaeffer leading the way after just a remarkable turn of events on lap number 12.
Yep, quickly, a 6-second margin between the leader and second place is now suddenly changed to less than a second just by simply removing the leader.
All right, so now I'll finish the thought that I was trying to start earlier. Pit strategy, lap number 20-ish. Has that changed now that we don't have a far-out leader? Anything changed, really?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's a bit different than oval racing in terms of, ideally, your race strategy is your race strategy, no matter how well or poorly you're doing.
I had just seen Nicholas Johnson pulled up in the waiting for interview, and this seems like dangerous territory. I don't know if the cooldown period has been enough. Is there a precedent of pulling up dominant drivers who didn't get the win into the interview booth?
Normally, we don't do interviews during the middle of a race broadcast.
Oh boy. Should I? I'll put it to a vote.
I don't want to be involved in this one.
Yeah. If this is our channel, I would definitely do it. But we are guests in this house. I don't want to track any mud inside. Nate Schaeffer has pulled away just a little bit from Christopher Hill. Around a second there. Hill seems to be pretty good under braking, making up a lot of time on Schaeffer. But Schaeffer better on the throttle off the corners. At least that's what I'm seeing. And maybe it's lap to lap. As
Tommy, do I dare bring up the curse?
No, you don't bring up the curse.
I mean, we brought it up. Me and Gary bring it up every week because it seems like we get more and more of them showing up each week.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, Matt, this is your observation. You go for it.
So, in our Daredevil series that we have in the offseason of Schaeffer's IndyCar series, Nate Schaeffer had about the worst luck any driver could have in a racing series, except for the one race Mr. Tommy Cook decided to skip out on. And I say skip out on, he had prior engagements.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
Nate
for
Schaeffer
taking
ended
it
up
on a flake.
Nate Schaeffer ended up winning that single race that Tommy was not a part of, and crashed out of every other race due to just bad luck, basically. So I think there's a little curse between Schaeffer and Mr. Tommy Cook, but we'll see if it can be broken here tonight.
Oh, I
gonna
thought
do
you were
my
going to
best.
mention. I thought you were going to mention the other curse.
Just
where
the broadcaster curse in general?
No, that.
Oh.
That. Actually, I don't think I'm trading paints on. I don't think he's running this livery, actually.
Oh.
Where, in IndyCar, it is unlucky to be racing. Traditionally in IndyCar, it's unlucky to race green.
Oh, in a green car, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got some fuchsia on there. I think that skirts the green rule. He is navigating some lap traffic here. Hayden Herman has gotten out of the way very nicely for the race leaders. Nicholas Johnson is still in waiting for interview. I feel like I should bring him up because I don't think we had any doubt that he was going to win this race. He's up there in the points. And if things go south, I'll take the blame for it. Exclusively my fault. So, all right, we've got Mr. Nicholas Johnson in here, and just gonna rip the Band-Aid off here and let you, hopefully not very explicitly, what happened from your vantage point there.
Just first off, really disappointed. We're out there racing, and there's guys out there who are just really, really, really off pace with no damage. And to be off pace in certain parts of this track in this car, there's really no way to get out of the way. You're just a roadblock. And I was running behind another lap vehicle, and I guess he must have misjudged, or he had nowhere to go. I'm not sure. And he got collected, and then I had nowhere to go, and that was the end of my race.
Go ahead.
It was really unfortunate out there because you were the dominant driver out in track, and it seemed like, from our view in the booth, it seemed like the driver who was seemingly going to yield the position moved across the racing line in front of the other lap car, and it caused a collision, and you had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that happens. It just sucks, especially qualifying, on pole by 6/10 and having about a 6-second lead there. I was just kind of cruising, doing my thing, waiting to get on the red tires late in the race, and just kind of run out the race. I figured I had a big enough gap. I could manage that and be all right. Car felt good. But these things happen, and that's why the season is X amount races long. People are going to have their ups and downs. I have some time to relax. We got an oval race coming up, so we'll get back on the horse.
That was going to be my next question: is if you're going to make it back for the oval race, but you do have a little bit of time here. It's still lap number 18 now in this race, so you had the car to beat. So I mean, you can take a little bit of solace in that, I suppose.
Yep, it is what it is. I mean, unfortunately, in the day, on the results sheet, it's not going to show how fast we were, so we'll have to take it on the chin, head on off to the next race. I can watch my TWR teammates run here on the podium and enjoy you guys' wonderful broadcast, and we'll be ready for the next one.
Alrighty, well, thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you here in just a little bit.
Okay. Hi, Danielle.
Love it. All right. Well, that was nice. Certainly he has the right to be upset, I think, but handled it pretty well, seemingly. And while that was happening, we have a new race leader. Christopher Hill has gone through on Nate Schaeffer, and Schaeffer is not going away. It was just an honest pass there, and Hill seemed to be biding his time, managing his equipment, and has snagged the lead from Schaeffer right before pit stops are going to commence here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a race determined by in-lap, out-lap, who can eke out the small tenths of a second to maybe get through a stop, get out ahead, and use the red tires to your advantage in the few laps that you have to unlock their full potential.
We've had a couple of isolated incidents between very notable drivers, but nothing that has warranted a full course caution. In the very rare instance that we would see one of those on a road course anyway. So it's been caution free. We're not going to have to worry about the time limit. We're going to be coming to lap number 20 this time by.
And almost third of the way through the race. Have to mention again, Bruno Miranda is in 10th place.
All right. What a drive. Absolutely cracking drive, as they would say, for Bruno Miranda up into the top 10. And a couple of drivers that had some EOLs as well. We were keeping an eye on their progress. And Michael the Turk is into 13, so he's actually been passed by Bruno Miranda. But still a good recovery from Michael the Turk. And I don't remember who the other EOL driver was. Name is not jumping out at me. But nevertheless, we are still tight here for the lead. And pit window is open. We'll have to see what the leaders elect to do here as they round the last few corners here in the infield before they make it out to the oval front straightaway. And really, in a short race like this, I mean, not that you can ever afford to do it, but if there was ever a time not to speed, this is the race to do that.
Yeah, where again, you got one stop. You don't have the luxury of having to come around to do it again.
Hard lefts for the leaders. They are in. Boy, Hill really pushed it in there. Every little bit is going to matter here once they scream off a pit road. Oh, he has a black flag. He picked up a black flag.
Oh,
And
no.
man, I really thought he zipped that in there. And yes, it's showing on my entries that Christopher Hill has a black flag. Oh, that is, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm going to wait before I get too upset to confirm that he's going to sit here in the pits for quite a while. Car goes up on the jack.
On goes the Reds.
It comes down. Yep, he switched the tires. Schaeffer's away. Hill is not. So, new race leader for the second time. Nate Schaeffer will inherit the lead after Christopher Hill just picked up a speeding penalty. I believe that will move Dakota DeMade now up into the second position. Monitoring some of the drivers that are coming into pit road, seeing if anybody else has picked up a black flag. We do have a couple of meatballs out on the course, but other than that, no penalties to speak of. Callie Bajent, I know I'm pronouncing their name wrong. I apologize. Drew White, Daniel Miglin all have meatball flags. And Hill is now just leaving pit road. He has lost quite a few positions. I believe he'll be back to the 7th spot behind Nagisa Yoshikawa.
And with that, on my timing and scoring, I'm showing Schaeffer is about 8 seconds in front of our second place driver, Matthew Short, at the moment. So a big
Matthew
lead, he's just got to
Short.
manage it.
Has Matthew Short pit? I don't think he has yet.
I'm going to guess not.
No, because he was 42 seconds behind last time by.
Yeah, and I think he had an incident earlier in the race, so I don't believe he is, after a pit cycle, he's not going to actually be the second place driver, so the gap's going to be even larger.
Well, did he pit already and get on his alternate tire? What is the fuel window, I guess? Is it possible that he's good to the end?
It is possible, actually. I'm looking, and he does have the reds on, so...
Oh. We'll have to keep our eye on that. So yes, it's Schaeffer right now over Matthew Short, Dakota DeMade, Shane Coogan, and J.J. Wang in the top 5. That will move Michael DeTurk up to 6. Isidro, Yoshikawa, Hill, Miller. Right now, your top 10 as things are sort of shaking through the pits right now. Inside of 10 laps to go.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the nights we look back on and being one of the wildest ones for the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar series.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here in a stunned silence, honestly. We've seen so many twists and turns in this race. It's just right when you think somebody has the hot hand on the floor, they get ejected. I mean, that's really what it is. Wow. I don't even know. Yeah, this has just been an incredible... I mean, there's been some good racing, but this is just a shock value race at this point. And like Matt mentioned, the turn 200 Schaeffer curse might be in place still. We'll have to wait and see. He's going to have a little over 8 laps to try and get rid of that.
Yeah, we certainly got a thriller tonight here in Southern California.
Gap from Schaeffer back to Short, about 11.5 seconds. DeMade, Coogan, DeTurk, the rest of the top 5. For some battles. And right now, I believe the best battle that we've got on the track is Michael DeTurk and J.J. Wang. And I don't think Wang has a right side of his front wing. Unless it's just not popping up on my sim.
It doesn't look like he has it on mine either, so I think you are correct.
You are correct.
That was a problem I had with the old graphics card, but this gentleman, Mr. Matt Williamson, came over to my house and installed a new graphics card for me this weekend. So, having that problem no more. And I'm glad we can confirm that I have good graphics now.
That's what friends are for, you know?
Yeah, sure. But what does that do for you? That certainly can't be an advantage, right? To not have half of your front wing?
That is a significant loss of front downforce. Normally, it will unsettle the car. It won't have the same aero balance that you had with an entire front wing.
And not only that, but also you're riding really close to the car in front of you. That's unsettling enough.
Well, you gotta push through that aero wash.
Battle behind them is closing up as well. Nicholas Isidro, first time we've said his name tonight outside of the starting grid, has gone through on Nagisa Yoshikawa. And Christopher Hill still hanging strong right now in the 9th position. Justin Miller right now running in 10th. Car behind Miller is Lucas Santos, who is the lap down in 20th, so that is not a battle for position, but a fierce battle nevertheless. So Short has still not come to pit, and none of my tools have anything about when drivers have come to pit. So I don't know if he's been in already and he is just on the final stint, or what the deal is.
Well, He has reds on. I can't imagine he started the race on reds and has had them on this entire time. So
Probably not.
I mean, it seems to me like he probably has at some point. We just missed it.
Okay, I'm scrubbing back through the footage, seeing what I can find. He did pit at the end of lap 4.
Oh. Okay, so he's had the reds on for over 20 laps.
Certainly an interesting strategy, but it's paid off up to this point.
He is losing some time on Nate Schaeffer. The last couple of laps, he's been just inside of 10 seconds. Now he's it's kind of yo-yoing back and forth with 5 laps to go. Yeah, it's not ideal, I'm sure, but we both know Matthew Short is a wheelman. I know Matt has his fake feud with Matthew Short in our Thunderdome broadcasts, but certainly a very talented driver, and a driver that's really gotten off to I mean, to say it's not the start that he wanted to the season is the understatement of the season, I think. Didn't even qualify for Kentucky, and then has just had a string of bad luck since then. In his 2 starts, he's had 2 DNFs and completed just over 50% of the laps, with the best finish of 13th last week at Belle Isle. So a little bit of momentum, I guess, coming into the night. But second place right now for Matthew Short. I'm sure he's going to be pleased as punch about that if he can bring it home in the next 4 laps.
And we were talking earlier about J.J. Wang not missing the front right part of his wing, and Isidro and Yoshikawa have both closed the gap on him. A very tight battle for 6 between 3 cars at the moment.
They're catching JJ at a quick rate of pace going through NASCAR 1 and 2.
Is that more of a disadvantage on the oval part of the track or the road course part of the track? Or is it just does it just kind of suck enough either way?
It's gonna be a disadvantage.
Whoa, what goes around? That was Isidro.
Yeah. Isidro with a little bit of lockup there, trying to dive into the inside of that turn off of the back straightaway. And locked it up. That'll give Christopher Hill another position. I'm sure it's of little consolation to him, but he will move up to the 8th position.
But yes, it's going to be a disadvantage everywhere because you're not going to be able to take the super speedway 1 and 2 as quickly as you would with full downforce.
Right. So at the line last time, Schaeffer was up over Matthew Short by about 12 seconds. And this time it's gone up to 13.5. So Short losing about 1.5 seconds a lap. Well, the problem he's going to run into now is Dakota DeMade is going to start closing in. Maybe not enough time for DeMade to do anything, but we'll have to see how much Short is yielding here with 3 laps to go. But the one thing that is for sure right now, barring some disasters that we have seen several times in this race, Nate Schaeffer is in good shape. But, I mean... to say anything can happen is a lie because everything has happened already.
Yeah, everything has happened, and it can keep happening.
It can keep happening, and it might. Who knows? There is some lap traffic in front of Schaeffer. Gavin Sanders, who was, I think, the catalyst for the bad luck at the beginning of the race. He just kind of got the wave of bad luck started for all the perpetual front runners thus far this season. So he's in front of the race leader right now as Schaeffer crosses the line. 2 laps to go.
Yep, 2 laps to go. Over 11 second lead. Well, over 13 second lead. Like, just bring it home. Just bring it home.
Yeah, and you got to think with a lead as large as that, is he just going to maybe sit behind Sanders and maybe not even try to get by on a tight course?
I would. Gavin's fast enough.
I would trust Gavin the most to race against and also to be the most respectful. But I mean, if you're not going to catch him, then there's no point in pushing the issue, I suppose. As JJ Wang is getting passed right now by Yoshikawa, and Christopher Hill's going to try his luck as well. And Wang just going to roll out of that one, let them by. Hill's going to get a twofer. He gets both spots. So move Christopher Hill up to 6, just outside of the top 5. Short and DeMade separated by about 3 seconds as they run. So no challenge yet for that second spot as we are across the line. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Nate Schaeffer.
He is just sitting back, letting Gavin Sanders
there you
drive off.
Just lets him go. You got 15.5 seconds. Short just crossed the line. And he is just babying this throttle. Settling down in the battle for 6th. And no challenge for the silver medal from DeMade to Short. Just a few more corners to navigate for Oskaloosa, Iowa's Nate Schaeffer. Coming out of turn 19, on to the oval front straightaway for the first time in season number 4. Nate Schaeffer is a winner in the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series for the 4th time in his career. And boy, what a journey to get there. But Nate Schaeffer gets it done here tonight. Now we're going to wait another probably, oh, no, actually second place to Matthew Short, officially now 3rd to Dakota DeMade. Coming out of turn number 19 right now is Shane Coogan. Good run for him tonight. He will finish in the 4th position. Actually, Michael the Turk got through Shane Coogan. Michael the Turk will finish in 4th. Shane Coogan to 5th. Christopher Hill was closing in on Coogan as well, but he will finish in 6th. And it's Yoshikawa, Wang, Isidro, and Bruno Miranda will round out your top 10. A great run for Miranda from starting from the pits. Makes it up into the top 10. But what a drive for Nate Schaeffer. Cool under pressure. Was originally battling for that 2nd spot after the first couple of crashes. And battled for the lead really hard with Christopher Hill. And Hill made the slip up that gave Schaeffer the clean air that he needed to get this one done here tonight. Burnouts from Matthew Short, Nate Schaeffer, friends, teammates. And what do you say we have a word with our race winner here? Your race winner for the first time this season is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nate Schaeffer. Welcome to Victory Lane. Welcome to the Race First broadcast booth. That was an entertaining race from our perspective. You got a good look at pretty much everything that had happened there. Not sure even where to start, but try and sort through the chaos if you can here.
Yeah, lap 1, lap 1 I started, I think, 9th or whatever. Getting through lap 1, I don't know how crazy that was around me, but it felt crazy for sure.
It was.
To say the least around me. And then lap 2, I don't know what happened up there with all those guys around 2nd place there, but that looked pretty crazy from that perspective. Nick was running away with it. me and Chris were content with being 2-3. We kind of had a plan. Me and Chris said we're gonna stay in this formation because we had a big enough lead. And then I don't know what happened to Nick. That really is unfortunate. Whatever happened there. So that really sucks on that side of things. And then basically we kind of just, Chris and we were just running a race there, and then he got that speeding penalty, unfortunately. So, that really sucks. I would have loved to battle there at the end with him. I owe him one. That was going to be the one I owed him. And unfortunately, that's how these races work, unfortunately. So I'm glad at least we got a 1-2 for TWR as a whole. But I wish it was a little bit different, though.
Yeah, like my only question is, like, obviously you guys decided to run formation first, second, and third. What was the first thing that came to mind when you crossed the start-finish line and suddenly you guys were first and second?
The status quo was the same. I swapped with him because he had a little bit of fall off on the tire, so we actually swapped just to see what I could do in clean air. And the status quo stayed the same. We were going to run the same plan there, even with us being 1-2 then. Unfortunately, we basically said after the red pit stop we were going to go race. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I would have loved to, actually gone for it there with him, but it sucked that happened to Nick. I think we both were content with 2-3 there. I hadn't run the racetrack until literally I hopped in the session.
Oh wow!
Once I got a rhythm behind Chris really well, actually. And that's what helped me, get going, running, those 6 or 7 laps behind Chris there when we were running 2-3, just learning the track and learning, the right rhythm to do. Cause I really was off the pace by quite a bit tonight. So he helped me a lot get to where I needed to be at pace wise. And then unfortunately his speeding penalty, it hurt a lot. I wish it didn't happen, of course, but we'll take it. It's a win. That felt good considering we haven't had a single I consider clean race this season yet. So we'll take it. We'll move on to the night. Try to see if we can make it 2 for 2.
Well, quickly here, because we don't have very much time. Your 4th career victory here tonight in Schaeffer IndyCar League competition. Who do you want to thank here from the top step of the podium?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, of course, in case if I don't get to do it later tonight. I want to thank all the admin staff here that put this on. This is a unique format. It's really cool to have it as well. And thank, of course, the TWR for being a great partner. Learning with the tracks and everything like that. And I thank my partner as a Midwest Kidney Warriors. A great group of people helping people. Find living organ donors. Helping them with resources and everything like that. So. Really glad we got them finally back on the top step. It's been a minute, so glad we got back on the top step. The best time to win another race is right after you win one, so we'll see if we can do it tonight.
Well, there you go. Good luck, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you later tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So that was your race winner, Nate Schaeffer. We have a quick turnaround here. We will have a 75 lap race from the 2 Mile Auto Club Speedway coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. We're going to turn this around and decompress a little bit and get ready for some more chaos here at Auto Club. right, folks. I hope you got yourself something hot to eat, cold to drink. We're back here on Race First, getting ready for leg number 2 of the Auto Club Duel. Auto Club Duel number 2, presented by Let's Race. And we have to shift gears right away from that, from the infield race, to what we have here now, which is a classic 75-lap race here on the 2-mile oval. And I know you've been looking forward to this one, Ryan. And I'm not gonna waste any more time.
Yeah, because one of the rare occurrences for IndyCar, at least NASCAR, they have the Firecracker 400 in the summer at Daytona, but for IndyCar, the traditional super speedways out east, at least Indianapolis, Michigan, and Pocono, those super speedways don't have lights. At Auto Club, however, we got floodlights, and in the dark, with cooler temperatures, you see higher speeds, closer racing, all on a 2-mile oval that is the fastest IndyCar has ever raced on.
It's a thing of beauty. Auto Club is one of my favorite tracks, but Auto Club at night is my favorite nighttime track. There's just something magical about it, and I did not know it was going to be a night race. But I'm happy that we had the quickest sunset of all time, because yes, this is optimal conditions for IndyCar racing here. Auto Club under the lights, and yes, we've set a new RIL track record. Caleb Bency right now with provisional pole 32.276. It was a 32.806 by Dakota DeMade last time we were here in season 2. But that is not the case anymore, and provisional pole no longer, because he is just the pole sitter. That is the pollingest driver in RIL history. Is that the term? I don't know. He has the most pole positions. Caleb Bency is on the pole with a 32.276. On the front row beside him will be driver number 15. How about it? Mr. Drew White will be on the outside pole to kick things off. He's dubbed by Gary as the Oval Master. Is that what he calls him?
Oh, yeah.
And that's very fitting to see him up front here at Auto Club to kick things off. Joshua Tucker, great qualifying effort for the Let's Race proprietor in the race that he sponsored. Go figure. He will start on the inside of row number 2. Now, Shane Coogan to his outside, who had just missed out on the top 5 in our last race. Hunter Engrave is back after being the first car to disconnect in the infield race. He will start in 5th. He'll have Matt Cosgrove to his outside. Row number 4, they can't seem to get away from each other, can they? Gavin Sanders on the inside, Connor Baldwin on the outside, and then rounding out your top 10 starters here, the 91 of Bruno Miranda in 9th, and the 101 of Christopher Hill, looking for a better finish than what he had in the infield there, starting in the 10th position. Christian Jasper in the 11th starting position with Dakota DeMate to his outside. On row number 7, Nicholas Johnson and Jonathan Libertor in 13th and 14th. Frankie Franchica, and I'm definitely saying that wrong, I do apologize, starts on the inside of row number 8. He'll have Trey Mitz to his outside, who is making his RIL debut here tonight. Matt Houston back in 17th with Matthew Short, the runner-up from the last race, on his outside in 18th. Then you've got the 19th starter, your winner from the infield race, Nate Schaeffer, and Justin Miller to his outside. Those are your top 20 starters here. In 21st, the 424, Nicholas Isidro. He'll have the 54, Brody Gardner, to his outside. On the inside of row number 12, Logan Spaeth, and to his outside, the 14 of DL Lemon. Crusher Lusher is here. Neil Lusher will start in the 25th spot. He'll have Lucas Santos to his outside. Aaron Moss, JJ Wang, 27th and 28th. Matthew Johnson, Hayden Herman, 29th and 30th. Christopher Kresge, Callie Bagiant, and Daniel Miglin round out the top 33. We do have a 34th timer, and I don't know if they're going to be taking the grid or not, but it is Nagisa Yoshikawa qualified.
Yes, Yoshikawa is lining up the rest of the field.
All right, so they're being nice. They're letting Yoshikawa onto the grid. We'll have 34 cars here for 75 laps, a shorter race around this 2-mile Auto Club Speedway. And oh boy, I am excited. I was excited before I knew it was a night race, but you're right. The conditions that they chose for this, absolutely perfect. It's going to be a fun one. What do you say?
Oh, I can't wait to see them fan out in turn 1.
Caleb Bency, Drew White, Joshua Tucker, Shane Coogan, and Hunter Engrave. 5 drivers who want to do a little bit better than they did in the last race. Hunter Engrave especially. He was creeping up into the top 15 in points and just picked up 5 points in that last race. So looking for a good recovery here. Up front, we are on the power. Great jump for Caleb Bency. He is away. We are green at Auto Club, the Oval.
Whoa!
Oh, I hear some skidding.
That was Tucker just got a little loose, but he saved it. He's going to drop back about 10 positions, though.
Incredible. I was looking further back, and you're right. Joshua Tucker dropped like a rock there. But, yeah, what an incredible save from the 112, Joshua Tucker.
Unfortunately, we did have a car go off across the paved infield tarmac and into the inside wall.
Oh,
And we got a yellow.
caution is out for the first time today. And it's not showing me who it is.
I think it is Frankie.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, actually, you missed a bigger accident off 4.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Miglin is in the pits, as is Aaron Moss, Matthew Short. All 3 of those drivers in the pits. And we're going to have to see if we can find that one, Matt. I completely missed that.
Yeah, I did too. My incident report here is not showing anybody even going off track, so it may be a little tough to find that one. I can try.
I'm rewinding here to see what I could see.
Seems like we got 2 separate incidents coming off of 4 at once, right in front of each other.
Oh. So nothing that could be done, really.
So,
Yeah, I'm
going
looking
through
up.
the
Certainly
footage.
isn't it.
It looks like JJ Wang made contact with Trey Mitz, and Aaron Moss made contact with Matthew Short simultaneously coming out of 4.
That's super speedway racing, I suppose. Lap number 1, Daniel Miglin has disconnected. That's the end of his night. And that's yeah, he had a tough go of things tonight for sure.
Well, it didn't take long, fellas.
No, it sure didn't. And one thing that we didn't get to talk about at the intro because we were a little rushed, but the pit window was questionable. But with even just one caution now, this should shore it up to be a one-stop race, should it not?
Yes, you should be able to make it far enough on this first stint without even having to top off to do this in one stop.
So that's one less element in play, which is good for them. It kind of sucks for us though. Yeah, you know what? We don't really need that many elements. I think the racing is going to be chaotic enough. If you couldn't tell by our lap 1 caution. But let's pay the bills, shall we? Another huge thank you to Schaeffer's Oil, the title sponsor once again for Season 4, the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Schaeffer's specialized lubricants support transportation, food production, other critical parts of our infrastructure. Your equipment has specific needs based on the work that you do and the environment that you work in, and Schaeffer's is designed with you in mind, offering everything from synthetics, engine oil, hydraulic fluid, greases, and gear lubes. Schaeffer's helps you own equipment longer, operate at maximum efficiency, and reduce hassles. Thank you to Schaeffer's for coming back on board for Season 4 of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. And Matt Houston told me something interesting, is that Schaeffer's oil is apparently green, the colored green.
Yeah.
Which I did not know that. Interesting. I have a couple of people that use Schaeffer's oil at the racetrack that I call on Saturday nights at Spin River Speedway up in Canton, Illinois. And I'm gonna have to say, can I see your racing oil, please? I want to confirm that it's green. And then they're never gonna talk to me again. So it'll be fun. And also, tonight's Auto Club Duels are presented by Let's Race. Let's Race is an iRacing special events series where the best from all walks of sim racing come together to show off their iRacing skills. To win some cash and pay for some new cars and tracks. Let's Race runs events at your favorite tracks with your favorite cars. It features cash prizes along with real race stewards and live race control. The dream of Let's Race is to see the community grow so that sim racing experience can translate into real-life racing experiences and opportunities. Check out Let's Race to sign up for their Shizebo Grand Prix this Sunday. Check out the link in the description of this video, and thank you to Let's Race for sponsoring tonight's Auto Club Duels and for supporting the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Are the lights off on the pace car? I do believe they are.
They certainly are.
So we'll have 70 laps to go in this race after caution number 1 on lap number 1. Drew White leads the way after snagging the lead from Caleb Bency from the outside pole. Shane Coogan is up to 3rd. Connor Baldwin in 4th. Hunter Engrave hanging tight in 5th. And Gavin Sanders, Matt Cosgrove, Christopher Hill, Dakota Domain, Christian Jasper, your top 10 as we come back to the green flag. First challenge. Engrave and Baldwin, I do believe, side by side. And now here comes a look for the lead. Nothing happening there.
Oh, but behind them...
White back to 2nd. Now he'll go back to the outside. We were just about 3 wide there at the line. 3 wide through the tri-oval before that. And here we go, starting to pack up just a little bit. Can you expect everybody to stay like this for the entire race? Does it fall off at some point?
The tires do fall off at a point, but it is manageable if you're mindful of tire wear and temperature throughout a run. You could lessen the heat input on the tires by running that high line and only using that low line when you really need it, when you want to like cut a deficit down to a car ahead or make an overtaking maneuver.
I think the most popular IndyCar race in recent memory among NASCAR fans, for obvious reasons, came here in 2015, the MAV TV 500, where there was just an ungodly amount of lead changes, great pack racing, high-octane crashes, including, I believe it was Ryan Briscoe javelining himself in the infield grass, coming to the white flag. And I think we are in for much of the same here as we are 3 wide for the race lead. Baldwin on the outside, White in the middle, but Bency through back to P1.
Yes, I jokingly referred to that race as the greatest race no one saw because the stands were fairly empty that day.
That's such a shame. And I know you've got an inside track on the IndyCar Garage. Are drivers missing tracks like Auto Club and Pocono, Michigan, some of the bigger tracks as much as the fans are? Or are they kind of relieved that they're not on the schedule?
I'd say it depends on who you're talking to. The veterans who've been around for a while and raced at those tracks in person, some of them miss it, some of them rather not go back. Some of the newer drivers that we see in the IndyCar series, including some of the more experienced rookies we have in IndyCar these days, like Jimmy Johnson, they are fine with IndyCar deciding maybe super speedways aren't the way for IndyCar at the moment.
It does make sense, especially, given some of the accidents that have occurred in the last decade and a half at some of those bigger tracks, to at least give it a little bit of time to breathe before you get back there. But certainly they put on fantastic racing when you can keep all 4 tires on the ground. And they are 3 wide, just inside of the top 10 there at the line. And this pack is just all over the place for the lead and for the top 10 to 15 spots behind them. Two different groups here. Some of the other drivers behind them getting a little bit strung out.
Yeah, when the track starts getting crowded like this, I like treating this like you treat baseball. The number one step to get on base in baseball is to simply hit the ball to where no one's standing. And if you drive your car to where no one else has their car, you try to get as much clean air as possible. You can put in fast laps, slowly move up the field, and keep your tires right in the optimum window.
Not too sure that Hunter Engrave didn't just give Connor Baldwin a shot right across the start-finish line. And Baldwin even came across the radio and said, "Are we really bump drafting?" Like, that's, yeah. I think I would have the same reaction there. As Bensy is about to get overtaken by Connor Baldwin here for the race lead. Gavin Sanders led there for a couple of laps. He's fell back to third and is now closing back in on this battle for the lead. Drew White is still hanging tough up there in the top 5, as well as Shane Coogan and Hunter Engrave. And here comes Christian Jasper up into the lead pack as well, and he's bringing a 3-wide party behind him.
Yeah, race control axing DL Lemon to tow off the track.
Yeah, it's not been DL Lemon's night, has it? Just a few weeks removed from his performance at Rockingham. I believe it was his best career finish in RIL competition, an 8th place run at Rockingham. What was just an absurd race from flag to flag. But it looks like we might have been on that track to start things off here tonight, but it's just been hard, crazy racing without some of the wrecking, at least, thus far here on a lap number 16 going up on the board.
Yeah, the margins are so fine here, moving at these speeds. One errant move, and you're making contact with someone else.
Going through to the race lead. Oh, peeking 3 wide there. Oh, my gosh. Sanders, Bensy on the outside, Baldwin there in the middle. And, wow, this is just a test of nerves at this point. Because this is a 75-lap race. I don't lose sight of that. We were on lap 17, but they're going for it.
Yeah, they're going for it, even though we all have a stop to make. Everyone's gonna have to come in once, and I tell Gary this every time we go to a super speedway. There are various stages of races like this, and kind of the most important thing to look forward to near the end is to make sure that you're in that lead pack when the white flag is in the air. It doesn't matter if you're leading or not. It doesn't matter if you're in 1st or 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th. If you're within a second of the leader in that lead pack, you could win the race in the final lap.
Nate Schaeffer has clawed his way up just outside of the top 5, I do believe, and he's still working the bottom here, picking off a spot or two on every corner exit. We've had so many lead changes that it's hard to point them all out. But Baldwin took the lead from Sanders, and now Sanders back to the bottom to reclaim the lead. So I don't think that's officially a lead change because Baldwin never led over the line. But now he did.
He might have
just
there,
took
though.
it right back. Okay, yeah, so 4 lead changes on that lap between 2 people. Christian Jasper just, oh no, that was Shane Coogan actually, just got a little bit out of shape, going to yield a little bit of time, bunch up Christian Jasper. And Brody Gardner behind him. Brody Gardner is up into the top 10 from the 22nd starting spot. So a good effort thus far from driver number 54. Just as I say that, he's going to get passed back by Nate Schaeffer. But still in the 8th position.
So if they do end up near the, on the podium near the end, I do have to ask Sanders and Seifert about their strategy at the moment, because it looks like they're purposely changing position each lap, because that's a trick you could do on the super speedways, where you could sort of leapfrog each other to go faster, to, what I like to say, make sure the cadence in the race is high.
That seems like it breaks one of the laws of physics. That seems like you're just creating your own energy at that point. But you know, if Schaeffer can bend reality to his will like that, then who's to say he can't pull off the double here tonight?
Yeah. What the idea is that if you slipstream someone down a straight, obviously you get a higher top end speed. You get a higher top end speed, and then you pull out on corner entry and you take the low line, and you generally get an overall faster lap as a duo than you would as an individual.
It makes perfect sense on paper, and we see it working in practice as well. So good on them. As to be a fly on the rear wing of Connor Baldwin, looking back at the chaos behind him.
A fly on the rear ring, you say?
Yes. Crazy. We have the technology. Gavin Sanders goes through to the lead now. Nate Schaeffer had a peek. Hunter Engrave hanging tough there in third. Schaeffer now taking his peek a little further back. It's just mesmerizing to see how these guys move in and out of traffic.
Yeah, it might not seem like it at some points, but these cars at 220 miles an hour are quite agile.
Yeah, Engrave there on corner entry was pulling 231. That is, yeah, fast and nimble for sure. Sanders and Baldwin are the two drivers that have led the most laps this season, or at least they were before the last race in the infield. Baldwin, all of his laps led came at Rockingham. He led 105 laps and is back out front here tonight.
But yeah, kind of continuing on to the point I was bringing up earlier about keeping the cadence high. One of the reasons I like doing it at super speedways, it ensures that over time, not everyone in the pack can keep up with you. Ooh, nope, Baldwin in the wall.
Oh, no. And the tough night gets a little tougher. And his journey is not done yet. He's got to let 32 other cars pass him before he can duck down to the bottom if he's able to. Looks like he's going to get it down there. And we'll see what he's got. Damage-wise, certainly has a meatball. Oh, and he just put it into the pit wall.
Ugh.
And that certainly spells the end of his night. Wow. And not that we haven't said this tonight, but how quickly it can all change.
Yeah. Southern California for you. Lights, camera, action.
Yep. So he will join Nicholas Isidro, DL Lemon, Lucas Santos, Logan Spaeth, Frankie Franchica, Neil Lusher, Jonathan Libertor, Matthew Short, Aaron Moss, and Daniel Miglin. All of those drivers are out of this race. We do have two cars that are one lap down. That is Matthew Johnson. Connor Baldwin was the other one. So Matthew Johnson right now running in the 23rd position. He is the last car running on the track, as well as the only car not on the lead lap at this time. We have two cars that are out of touch with the lead packs, and that's J.J. Wang and Callie Bagnian in 21st and 22nd. Everybody else is pretty much in touch with the leaders here. I hear some wheel spin somewhere, not in the lead pack. and it is Callie Bajent. Just went around out of turn number 4, is back up to speed, and we're going to stay green. They're going to have to be aware that the leaders are coming up fairly quickly.
Yes. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, one of the reasons you want to keep the cadence at the front of the race high is with Aero Wake, and as you put more and more laps on the tires, you can thin out the pack behind you.
Yeah, well off the pace, right in front of the leaders. Some of them saw it, and that's... Yeah, Nate Siefker didn't seem very happy about that, but and that's understandable. That's one thing. I mean, the visibility with the aero screen is already a little bit lower than some people who are just coming from the DW12 or the RR09 are a little accustomed to anyway. But when you are riding directly behind the person in front of you, your reaction time has got to be on point to miss situations like that.
Yeah, you have to be on. You have to be aware of your surroundings, even the non-visible ones. You have to keep the relative open, see who's going slower than normal. Because you might be in a situation like this where you're in a pack behind a car, and the car in front of you might pull out, and you might not know why for not paying attention, and you go right into the back of a slower car.
But everybody did a pretty good job of avoiding the 305 machine, as Nicholas Isidro yields to the leaders. So he is back out onto the track a number of laps down, actually 10 at this point. And he does have a couple of spots that he can pick up, and maybe just hoping for the big one. As Gavin Sanders has the field in tow behind him. Lap number 34 goes up onto the board.
Yep, we're slowly reaching that point in the race where the next 10 laps or so, people are going to start thinking about heading down pit road.
I think Engrave thought about a move there and thought better of it, and a couple of cars sort of stacked up behind him, Christian Jasper being the first one on to the scene. They lost a little bit of time, but they're going to gain a lot of time here as there goes Sanders back on Siefker for the race lead, and Jasper now looking on the bottom to move into the second spot. The momentum off the top side there is going to give Siefker a run down the back straightaway, as well as Engrave behind him, and Bensi, the third car in line there. Siefker back to the inside. He'll retake the point, but for how long? He might take the lead and lose it another 3 times on this one lap. And there you go. There goes Sanders back to the point. Jasper is back to 5th now.
Yeah, we're starting to reach that point in tire life where you really can't hold in a pack for that like that long, where you have to sort of settle down, ease off, get into a single file line for a bit.
Things have calmed down just a little bit. We are seeing plenty of passes for the race lead. There's not a whole lot more 3 wide going on anymore.
No!
Oh, Sanders! Oh, collects. Oh, the 54 Brody Gardner with him as well. And we are under caution for the second time. Oh my goodness. From the race lead. And boy, did I jinx that. That was just a solo spin. One thing that we really haven't talked about that I haven't asked is how are the seams as treacherous with the IndyCars as they are with the NASCARs? Because that sure had the symptoms of that.
I'd say it is like that for the bottom seam. With these cars, with the amount of downforce they have, it's not an issue higher up the track. But we were certainly getting to that point, like I said, with tire life, where you can get situations like that, where if just one little lapse in concentration and the car will just go around on corner exit, especially in 4.
And are we rolling the replay here, Matt?
Yeah, we're watching it currently. I mean, most of these drivers did a great job of not making contact. There was one, however, that did get collected.
54, I believe it was, with Brody Gardner, who has made it back to pit road.
But
he'll
everybody
be done.
else, everybody else escaped unscathed. But certainly unfortunate. Sanders was wheeling and dealing up there in the front all night long up to this point.
We have everybody on pit road. Not a surprise. We'll see if things get shuffled. Nate Schaeffer led them down pit road. He will lead them off. Tight race for second and third. Hunter Engrave is going to grab that second spot. Christian Jasper comes out third. Then it's Christopher Hill, Caleb Bensey then. So nothing changing in the top five. Justin Miller in sixth, up from ninth. Shane Coogan then falls back to seventh. Drew White up to eighth. Nicholas Johnson in ninth. And Bruno Miranda will now be in the 10th spot.
And with that, what do you say we go to a quick message from the sponsor of the Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, Schaeffer's Oil.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
Some upcoming streams that you can expect to see right here on Raceverse tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. It's round number 1 of Stock Car Carnival de Brazil from Interlagos. That's going to be a ton of fun. Then on Friday, it's our coverage of the iRacing IndyCar Series from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve at 1 o'clock. And then the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series will be back in action once again here next Wednesday, same time, same place. Round number 7 of the summer season is 178 laps around Iowa Speedway, which is sure to be an absolute blast. The Des Moines 250K next Wednesday night at 7 Eastern right here on Raceverse. And we've had an eventful night, a doubleheader. The Auto Club Duels presented by Let's Race. Nate Schaeffer wins the infield road course and has just inherited the lead once again due to the leader wrecking. Gavin Sanders has wrecked out, got hit pretty hard by the 54, and both of those drivers have retired and disconnected from the sim. Their nights are over. That is the 54, Brody Gardner. So, Nate Schaeffer, he said he was going to try and pull off the double, and he's living up to his promise thus far.
Yeah, well, the way the cards have fallen, they've fallen in his way. I mean, they've fallen his way tonight.
Absolutely. Pace car is off here. We're going to
That is-
restart. Go ahead.
That is a interesting way to restart in IndyCar.
Down to the bottom. And we're side by side for spot number 4 now. That's Christopher Hill and Caleb Bensey. And 3 wide looking to make it. Looking to make it 3 wide as here comes Christian Jasper to the inside of Engrave for the second spot. He's still got the momentum, looking to the inside of Nate Schaeffer, looking to take the lead for the first time, not only of this race, but this season. C-Jazz is, and he'll have a good opportunity to do that. Everybody is on fresh tires. Nobody tried their luck and stayed out. There's not really any benefit to it, but somebody usually tries it anyway. Oh, maybe that's the races that I'm in. The strength of field and average IQ of this league seems to be a lot higher than the leagues that I participate in. Go figure.
Yeah, because we unintentionally had a bit of a halftime where we were at that point where you could take a stop, and this was essentially a free stop, and not have to worry about strategy till the end.
Christian Jasper did barely take the lead there by 21 one-thousandths of a second, but Nate Schaeffer is right back to the point into turn number 1. It's Engrave and Bensey behind them side by side, and Justin Miller P5. He's got Christopher Hill in tow, and then it's a little bit back to Shane Coogan in the 7th spot with Nicholas Johnson, Drew White. Bruno Miranda hanging tough in the 10th spot. He had an awesome drive after starting from the pits, missing qualifying in the infield road course to power all the way from 32nd in the pits to 10th at the finish. And good to see Bruno Miranda hanging tough in the top 10 once again. And ooh, Miller! Wow! Piled into the back of Bensi there. Whoa. Bensi was not very happy about that over the radio. Can't say I'm surprised. Jasper now going to take the point once again. See if he can hang on to it. Hunter Engrave is just kind of getting leapfrogged for multiple positions here and hanging tight in the 3rd position. As once again, side by side at the line, Jasper over Siefker.
So one thing I have to mention about that restart, for those who don't know, IndyCar restart procedure is that you're only allowed to legally overtake someone on the outside. So that's why you normally see people pressed up against the wall. Though you can, some people do it where they go to the bottom because despite being able to overtake on the outside, you can't do so until the green flag's shown. And normally you need... Whoa, that was close. Oh, car off!
Whoa. That is Drew White, I do believe, that went off the track there. But, boy, that could have been disastrous up front.
Yeah.
Trying to take a look at what happened to Drew White. I believe he had Shane Coogan behind him. And White checked up because I think he thought Hill was going to crash into Jasper. And Shane Coogan did not check up. And just a little bit of a tag there. I don't see a ton of damage on both of those cars, but I'm sure every little bit is going to rack up here as the laps roll on.
So to conclude my little anecdote, normally you want to have the car ahead of you in line of sight so you know when to go to try to overtake them. If they go to the inside line, you're thinking about covering your outside. And normally, most people don't try that in iRacing. The only other driver I've ever encountered who done that to me from the lead is the current reigning IndyCar champion, Alex Palou. He did that to me at Pocono last year.
And who does Alex Palou drive for now?
We don't know.
Oh, what a crazy couple of days. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. Anyway, Krista Jasper has fallen back to the 4th position as somebody's a little off the pace there down on the bottom. I didn't see who that was. Maybe it's a lap car. Not 100% sure. Nevertheless, boy, that is a tight pack out front. Drew White has just gotten service and is back out onto the track after his brush with Shane Coogan. That's not going to be the result that Drew White wanted at this point if things continue this way. After starting the outside pole. Yeah, we're 3 wide for 2nd. Wow. And this is the kind of stuff that you get here on Race First. Quality racing from quality sim racing drivers. So if you're not already, and statistics say there's a 50% chance that you're not, please subscribe to Race First. They've got fantastic coverage. Usually have better announcers than myself here. So if you're not impressed by me, don't worry. I'm here visiting. I'll be out of your country before too long. But be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell to get notified of all the great racing action that you can see here on Race First. And give the stream a like as well. We've been at it now for quite a while, so we would appreciate all the support that we can get from all the fans out there watching tonight on Race First, round number 6 now of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. We had round number 5 just before this, both of them at Auto Club. The first one was the infield road course, won by Nate Siefker, who's running in 3rd right now. And that is the top 11 cars at least in this lead pack.
Oh,
Around he goes. 3, 4 cars.
I think that's most of that top 11 gone.
Yep. Wow. Woo.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, it's not unexpected. It's just always kind of surprising. Because it was going all right, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Well, let's see if we can cue that one up. That started right around Jasper.
Yeah, he seemed to push up into Engrave.
He definitely lost the nose. Engrave up into the wall, and it was on from there. And oh man, the first person to really commit to a line to avoid was I believe Kresge, and he piled straight into Kristen Jasper. There's a lot of good cars involved in this one, including Jasper.
Yeah, because when you're that close to the point of incident, I sort of call anywhere within 2 to 3 car lengths the splash zone, so to speak, where you have to commit to a line where you think no cars are going to slide across and you put your foot down. You're just too close to check up. You just have to commit and try to make it through.
Kresge will be done. Engrave will be done. Justin Miller will be done. That's a tough break for him. He's had a rough go of things here tonight.
Demain was also involved in that. I think he's likely going to be done as well.
Actually, Miller didn't do as bad as I thought he did in the first race. He finished 11th, so it is going to be a blow to him for sure to not finish this race, especially since he was up in the top 5 for a good chunk of the long green flag stint that we had. Yeah, Miller, Jasper, Kresge, Engrave are the drivers on pit road right now, and I'm sure a few more that are just not on pit road that have already left.
Yeah, we have a lot of drivers on pit road right now.
Yeah, looking at the line behind the pace car.
A little thin.
Yeah, three cars out.
Yeah, if you've got the opportunity to get some four fresh Dr. Feelgoods, as they would say, why not?
Yep, you're going to want fresh rubber at the end. The easiest way to try to make up some positions.
We'll be restarting here after caution number 3 with less than 20 laps to go. And a little bit of an advantage that you'll have over the rest of the front runners here. The drivers that stayed out, who do we got? We got Christopher Hill, Nate Schaeffer, Joshua Tucker. And everybody else pit, is that right?
Yeah, and Bensi being the first of the pitters.
So what is realistically going to be the difference at this point with the fresh rubber? Is it going to be immediate, or is it going to be something that rears up inside of 10 laps to go?
It's going to be something that rears up near that last 10 laps to go, where the advantage of having fresh rubber at the end is just higher apex speeds, and it's easier to place the car in the corners where you want it to be. So if you need to make that decisive move for potentially the lead, you have the rubber beneath you to do it.
Reset the scene here, just in case you missed the first race of this doubleheader here tonight. These two drivers in first and second were in the same positions, coming to the one and only pit stop at the infield road course race. Christopher Hill led Nate Schaeffer into the pits and picked up a speeding penalty, and that just set Nate Schaeffer off to a rather easy victory after that. And Christopher Hill scratched and clawed his way from the 10th spot back into the... Where did he end up finishing? He finished in 6th. So it was not a complete disaster, but compared to what it could have been, certainly not what driver number 101 wanted. And he has elected not to take tires, but rather to keep the track position that he lost. Not very long ago. Seems like it was forever ago now after all these big crashes, though, that we were racing on a road course. I guess in accident avoidance, some of these drivers have sort of made their own road course. We'll hope that practice does not continue here, as we will restart with 20 laps to go. Christopher Hill back onto the gas.
Well, less than half the field remaining as they cross the start finish.
Yeah, we've got 13 cars on the lead lap. And, 2, 3, 4 more cars that are running. So, yeah, 16 cars on the track right now. That's less than ideal. But good on everybody who has survived up to this point, even if you're a couple laps down with damage. Going to be a decent points payout for them here tonight as well. That hole's going to close up real quick. Maybe. They are 3 wide, nose to nose to nose across the line and all that, while Christopher Hill is getting away from the Hornet's nest behind him.
Oh, taking advantage of that fresh rubber real early.
Wow. So move Bensi up to second. He is charging now with Schaeffer behind him. Shane Coogan is now up to fourth. Joshua Tucker started in third, got way squirrely in the very first corner of the race and really has not been able to make any noise up to this point. So good to see him back with a chance up in the lead pack as he is sponsoring these 2 races here tonight. I'm sure he would like to actually compete in them. And he's having a good showing here in the last couple of laps after the restart here. Bensi up to the top spot. Move Hill back to second. There comes Hill. Here comes Coogan.
Oh, they made touch.
No! Oh my. You are kidding.
Oh, they both moved for the same spot on the track.
Hill and Schaeffer. Oh my. Don't even know what to say to that. It was
Like,
it was
gut feeling, I saw them both move for a pass at the same time, and Coogan and Hill, and
I think you're right. And it was going to be a really impressive save on Hill's part if he was able to reel that one back in, but instead it ends in disaster.
yeah, the large just swung back the other way, and he just shot up the track.
Now we're going to look at a replay of what you guys just described here. Hill I came down on Hill's left front just a little bit. Hill almost saved it and just overcorrected in the middle of the corner and just absolutely decimated
it was bad.
Schaeffer.
Yeah, speed at moment of impact, 191 miles an hour.
And, I mean, not that I'm anywhere on the caliber of driver of Christopher Hill or Nate Schaeffer, but I can attest that these cars, once they start to go, they seem pretty hard to save, especially the added element here on the ovals of the weight jacker. There's just so many things in play there. That was just that was going to be tough.
Yeah, like when you're in a moment like that and you need to save the car, you have to have trust in the drivers around you because you have to let off the gas. It's the only way to be sure to save the car, and that means the closing speed between you and everyone else is much higher.
But out of all that, Shane Coogan has found his way up into the top spot. He leads for the first time tonight, I believe, at Auto Club. They're on caution number, caution number 4, caution number 5.
This will be the 4th, yes.
Okay. Yep, I see it on my thing now here. We've got 4 cautions for 11 laps thus far. And Shane Coogan, best finish of the season, I believe, thus far is 8th at Belle Isle, if I'm not mistaken. 4 times the winner in Schaeffer's IndyCar competition. It's been a little bit, though, since his latest victory, most recent victory.
And
Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was in Nashville Super Speedway last season.
if my count's correct, we have 12 cars behind the pace car.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, let's go ahead and give you a full field rundown here as they cross the line to put lap number 61 up on the board. My sim is showing that we have 8 minutes left in the race, so time limit might come into play here. We'll have to wait and see. But nevertheless, Shane Coogan, Caleb Bensi, Joshua Tucker, Nicholas Johnson, and Matt Houston right now are your top 5. We haven't mentioned Matt Houston at all this race. So good to see him up into the top 5 here in the closing stages. Matt Cosgrove right now running in 6th. Nagisa Yoshikawa was the 34th starter. Very nice, and let him start the race. He's now up in 7th. JJ Wang, Hayden Herman, and Matthew Johnston round out your top 10. And Bruno Miranda, Drew White are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. They're in 11th and 12th. And then you have Christopher Hill and Nate Siefker, who just crashed. There is absolutely not a snowball's chance in hell that they're going to get those cars back out on track. But they sit 13th and 14th right now. And not sure who out of these drivers are still running. But Hunter Engrave, Justin Miller, Christian Jasper, Dakota DeMade, Christopher Kriske. I'm sure all of those guys are out. Nicholas Isidro was motoring around. He's 10 laps down. He might still pick up a couple of spots if he's still out running. And then Brody Gardner, Gavin Sanders, Trey Mitz, Callie Bajent, Connor Baldwin, DL Lemon, Lucas Santos, Logan Spaeth, Frankie Franchica, Neil Lusher, Jonathan Liebertor, Matthew Short, Aaron Moss, and Daniel Miglin have all crashed out. That is a lot of carnage.
Yeah, like we said at the start of the broadcast, as we restart, with the conditions the way they are, racing is going to be close.
We had a big checkup there for, I believe, from 3rd on back from Tucker, and a couple of cars made some contact there as we are back green. Coogan immediately overtaken by Caleb Bensey. Side by side for 3rd behind them, it's Tucker getting overtaken by Nicholas Johnson. And now Tucker going to come back to the inside. As everybody else starting to play catch up there after the 112. Not the best restart there. But Coogan will retake the lead at the line from Caleb Bensey with 13 laps to go. See how this pack reforms. What's the wake distance here? What's your draw distance? How much?
Draw distance, I'd say slipstream goes out to maybe 2.5 seconds. You have a lot to work with to try to get the toe and pull yourself back in.
Coogan still had it over Bensey at the line, but it was 2 1,000ths of a second. That's how we're splitting frog hairs at this point.
Oh, and within 5 minutes left on the time limit, I think we're going to be racing for time here.
Yeah. Sim is saying we can get them all in, but by golly, it's going to be close. We cannot afford another caution. Trying to do the math, that doesn't seem right, but nevertheless.
Yeah, it's roughly a 32-second lap here, so I don't know how the sim's counting.
I think the sim can count as well as I can. I grew up in Illinois, so you take what you can get, I guess.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
All right. Never mind. But I mean, by proxy, at least we have the contenders. We know which one of these 12 drivers, or we know the 12 drivers that are going to win this race. One of them is going to pull it off here.
Now it's just going to pull it off, and arguably, if there is a caution, it will effectively end the race.
Yes. Right now, the 3 up front, slicing and dicing, are Bensey and Johnson, who both needed recovery races after their disastrous outings on the road course. And Shane Coogan, who is timing his runs pretty well to keep the lead at the line. And whoa, Johnson real aggressive up the middle there, making his own lane. And he will snag second from Coogan.
With the race situation as it is in these closing laps, that's going to be key. Time your runs so you're the leader at the line.
So it's the top 5 cars. Back to 6th and 7th. Matt Cosgrove and Drew White are battling side by side, trying to stay in this lead pack. They've got Nagisa Yoshikawa behind them, trying to reel in as well. So a potential right now for 8 cars to end up in this lead pack. As Nicholas Johnson takes the lead.
Yeah, and I have my eyes on the field and also my eyes on the clock as we approach 2 minutes remaining.
Oh, boy.
And
We'll
the
have
way-
to keep an eye on that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the way Nicholas Johnson is driving, you know he is not happy about what happened in the first race this evening, and he wants a darn win that was stolen from him.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
He was kind enough to grace us with an interview. He was pretty upset, but I think given the circumstances, he was about as cheery as he could be. You absolutely know that he's in it for this one. But Shane Coogan once again back to victory lane. I tell you, he's had a lot of aggressive pushes into the corners, down onto the bottom to take the lead, and no different from what happened that time as we have 5 laps to go.
Oh, 3 wide for the lead briefly.
Actually, 6 laps to go. My apologies. 6 to go. And yeah, it's shaping back up. Can they hold on to it for 6 laps like this? Or,
Whoa!
however much time is left, I suppose. 3 wide again for the lead.
They know less than a minute remaining.
Drew White peeks in and peeks out. He washed it way up the track there. Now he will have a run once again.
Oh, nearly
Whoa!
touching for the lead.
Matt Houston has snuck his way up here as well.
Veil threats being made over driver radio.
They are wheel to wheel, tub to tub, and apparently holding each other at knife point as well. As if it wasn't intense enough already, here comes Johnson back to the bottom. Underneath of Coogan. 4 laps to go. Matt, you're gonna have to tell us if they. Matt, you're gonna have to tell us if they tick over to the white flag. You're gonna be the one that's be able to see the flags here.
Okay. I can't see the flag stand very well, so I'll try to keep an eye on it.
Time has expired.
All right.
So this
we're
may
gonna
be the
looking-
last one. Let's try to keep an eye on the flag man here.
Shane Coogan takes the lead back from Johnson. Bensey is up in the mix as well. Behind them, Matt Houston, Drew White. I don't see Barney throwing anything just yet. We may have a couple of laps to go. Bensey back to the point. Coogan is back to third. He always has a trick up his sleeve, but here comes Johnson back to the bottom. Here comes Drew White. Johnson able to clear, but here comes a big run behind them.
Yep, massive run.
Nothing at the flag stand yet. It's 2 laps to go. We
Whoa.
might get this in.
Yep, we are a minute
Over.
Yeah, a minute into overtime.
I think the server wants to see the finish of this race, just like we all do as well.
Oh, 3
Wide.
A
Drew White to the
triple
point.
overtime.
Whoa! Coogan pushes the nose up the track. A run from Johnson. White flag is out. Bensey back to second. He looks to the outside of Drew White for the lead.
Keep your eyes on Johnston.
Johnson definitely going to stick a 3 wide here down the back straightaway. Shane Coogan looking to pull a little bit of momentum, as is Matt Houston behind them. But up front, it's 3 wide for the top spot. Who is going to make it back to the line? Up the track. They're wrecking behind him. Here they come to the stripe. Checkers are out. It's Johnson. Johnson by 1/100th of a second over Caleb Bensey and Drew White.
What a race.
The fireworks on the back straightaway as Nicholas Johnson. Not the way we were expecting him to, but he claims his 2nd victory of the season in RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar League competition. It is his 5th career Schaeffer's IndyCar League victory. And I have a feeling we're going to have a complete 180 from our race winner when we get him up here into the broadcast booth. Wow. 37 thousandths of a second between Johnson, Bensey, and White for the top 3. Woo!
Oh, I need a breather after that.
If that doesn't get your heart fluttering and your legs shaking, you're inhuman. Thank you to the sim for letting us get that entire one in.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. As we are waiting for the drivers to matriculate up into the waiting for interview here. Bency has hopped in. I was going to try and grab him sequentially here and grab Drew White first. Wow. Quickly, Nicholas Johnson, Caleb Bency, Drew White, obviously on the podium there. Shane Coogan just behind them in fourth. Matt Houston, great run, finishes in fifth. Matt Cosgrove, Joshua Tucker, JJ Wang, Matthew Johnson, and Bruno Miranda round out your top 10. I believe Hayden Herman and Nagisa Yoshikawa crashed there out of turn number 4. And they were the last two drivers onto the lead, or on the lead lap. And we're going to bring in the driver who finishes in the third position here tonight, a bronze medal, and I'm sure some sweaty palms for driver number 15, Drew White. And, I mean, you kept it clean all the way to the line, and at that point, is it just kind of out of your hands and you got what you got?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's either you turn 2 people and get the win for yourself, or you play it safe, get a clean win, and I think it worked out well. Considering I was 2 laps down, with 20 to go, pretty much, I did not think I was gonna have any shot. So the fact that I led the 1 to go lap was insane, and honestly, I'm still shaking. I'm still sweating. You're not incorrect about that. That was just the wildest. And I tell everyone that this is my track. And stuff like that is why, because it's just insane.
Yeah, Drew, this is Ryan here. You can definitely hear it in your voice. The adrenaline is still flowing. And yeah, early on in the race, we saw you go off into the pit lane, and I didn't think we were going to see from you again. And surprisingly, you got to the end, and you got to the inside line. Did you plan on your race playing out that way? Did you plan being on the inside for the finish there?
When I got there, yeah. But when I was 2 laps down, it was just like, all right, just pray that 2 more cautions come out. Got both the cautions, and then at that point, it was just, well, just hope that no one takes me out in the process of making it through the front. And there was with 2 to go, when I went 3 wide between me, Nicholas, and someone else. It's just man, anyone could take anyone out here, and the fact that no one did is just a testament to at least some of the top drivers and how they can race here. So it was just insane all around. I'm glad that we got to turn it around. I know it's been a tough first 4 or 5 races now for me, but I finally am glad that I was able to. It's not a win, but top 3 is the best I've had in this series the entire time I've run it. So I'll take it any day of the day, any week of the day, or any day of the week or whatever.
That's what I was about to say. Is this is your new all-time best finish in Schaeffer's IndyCar League competition? So congratulations on that. Who do you want to thank here from the bottom step of the podium here tonight? Because you earned it for sure. I completely forgot that you had gotten turned around there. And what a fantastic drive to get back to third place. But who do you want to thank here?
Well, I want to first off just anyone out there, Team Watson Racing Setups. If you want to get a setup, go there. But also just want to thank my teammates, just Joshua and Chris Hill, just for helping me out, keeping me calm throughout all of that. Because, a few weeks ago I probably would have freaked out when that happened. But and I'm glad I had my voice chat muted as well, because I probably could have said something bad as well. But the fact that I kept it calm, I just want to thank them and thank everyone who watched tonight.
Well, there you go. Go party hard. You've earned it. Awesome third place finish here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, buds.
Boy, I love to see how excited he was about that, and he definitely earned it. So let's go ahead and bring up Mr. 3-time champ Caleb Bency here, who will bring it home in the second position here tonight, and by 100th of a second, no less. That was intense racing all the way down to the line.
Yeah, it was quite a wild race for sure. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, I guess happy to come up with P2. Not the best night overall, so take what you can get, I guess.
But a good recovery though from the road course race.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just a bit unfortunate. We were all just kind of stacked on each other there, and it's obviously it's a tough track, hard with no breaking points too, and everything. So we just it happens. But yeah, I mean, it's those oval races are always very fun, but man, it is sketchy driving around some people. So just happy to get through it. I can guarantee that. But yeah, it's not the best for the points overall tonight, but salvage as much as I could, I guess.
Now, Caleb Bryan here. So talking about sketchy during that oval race, did you realize that time was going to expire during this race? The sim did let the race go to distance, but we went a couple minutes over the time limit.
I was not aware of that, so thankfully that didn't happen. Or maybe it would have helped. I don't know. But yeah, no, I did not. I don't know what the limit was, but it actually might have helped because I've got a Lionheart race here in about 10 minutes. So but yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got to go out to the end. Just once I was kind of stuck on the high side there for those last couple laps, it was just hard to really do anything. All you could do is hold it wide open, pinch as much as you feel comfortable with without feeling like you're gonna wreck, and yeah, it was enough for second.
Well, second place. Again, a good recovery from the infield road course earlier. Who do you want to thank here from the silver medal position here tonight?
Yeah, obviously race versus always, Matt. You guys getting to broadcast tonight as well there, so thanks to you guys. And Fawn and Fanny, if you guys haven't checked it out, please do. Custom Body Care, all that. And yeah, I know there's family and friends as always watching, grandparents, parents. So thanks to you guys as always. Glad I could still run out with something to be proud of. So yeah, not bad.
All righty. Well, good luck in Lionheart tonight. Go tear it up, and congratulations again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Let's bring back the only recurring character here tonight in the broadcast booth. That'll be driver number 28, Nicholas Johnson, who wins it by 100th of a second. And I mean, we could tell that you were motivated from your interview earlier, but watching you in the last 5 laps, sort of making your own holes in the track and sticking wheels on tubs, that was quite the performance tonight.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the heart rate to come down after that one. That was some pretty crazy racing. All I know is to be aggressive and get the clean air. And when it got down there to the end, I had the same tire life as the guys ahead of me, had the same tools to my use. So I just get the clean air and try to hold myself up front and see how it all shakes out in the end.
Yeah, so Nicholas Ryan here. One of the things about racing at Auto Club that I always find to be a trend is that heading into turn 3 on the final lap, you kind of always want to be on the inside line. Though you ended up in the middle lane and were able to edge out your 2 other contenders there for the win, and you ended up winning by only 100th of a second. Did you plan on taking that middle lane, or was it just how things played out?
Really, it's just kind of how it played out there on the last lap. I thought I was looking really good going into 3, coming to the white, and Drew got a really great run on the inside and actually put me way up high, and I fell back more than I wanted to. I wanted to kind of keep it a 1-to-1 race for the win there. And as far low as he went into 1, it kind of opened up the middle, and I was able to still keep it flat and keep the grip in the front end of the car. And then at that point, I'm in the middle 3 wide going into 3, and I was all right, well, let's see what happens here. Just pinch Drew as much as I feel safe pinching him, and hopefully get a good enough run to hold it to the line.
Well, awesome job here tonight. You've certainly earned it. Who do you want to thank here from the top step?
First off, you guys for doing the broadcast every week. You guys do a great job, and we all appreciate it. I got to thank the Revolution Indy League and Schaeffer's for sponsoring the series. Give us a place to race every week. Really enjoy it. My TWR teammates, there was a lot of working together and radio chatter and figuring things out throughout this one, so that was enjoyable. And my wonderful girlfriend Danielle, who stayed up to watch me, even though it's way past her bedtime. So thank you, babe. I love you.
Very sweet. And nice job again. Your 5th career RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series victory. Nicholas Johnson, congratulations once again.
Thank you. You guys have a great night.
All right, full finishing rundown here. Nicholas Johnson, Caleb Binsey, Drew White, Shane Coogan, Matt Houston, your top 5. Matt Cosgrove, Joshua Tucker, J.J. Wang, Matthew Johnson, and Bruno Miranda, your top 10. Then it's Hayden Herman, Nagisa Yoshikawa, 11th and 12th. They were the last drivers on the lead lap. Everybody else, outside of Nicholas Isidro, who finished in 13th, is a DNF, which is Christopher Hill, Nate Siefker, Hunter Engrave, Christian Jasper, Justin Miller, Dakota DeMade, Christopher Kresge, Brody Garner, Gavin Sanders, Trey Mitz, Callie Bagnet, Connor Baldwin, DL Lemon, Lucas Santos, Logan Spaeth, Frankie Franchica, Neil Lusher, Jonathan Libertor, Matthew Short, Aaron Moss, and Daniel Miglin. We didn't really get to talk after the first race. We have a little bit of time now, and now we have 2 races to digest here. What we just saw, Ryan, you're going to be the one that has to process the long-term implications of tonight's doubleheader more, because lucky for everybody else, Gary Godso will hopefully be back next Wednesday. I will be a long forgotten memory. But what are some of your big takeaways from the 2 big races that we've had here tonight?
Oh, these 2 big races, man, most movie theaters don't do it nowadays, but this was certainly a double feature.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to top the excitement of the first race and the second one, but always, Auto Club, the big oval at night, always undersells what the end product we're going to get. We had a huge amount of attrition tonight. We did have a few big accidents take a large number of the field out of contention, but we still had enough cars to have, 6 cars finish within 2/10. It was insane racing.
Insane, and for the most part, especially at the end, it was clean. And that's really the best thing that you can ask for in some of these crazy super speedway pack style races. So hats off to all the drivers here tonight. Everybody did a fantastic job. What are some of your closing thoughts here as we wrap this broadcast up and get ready to send things off into the middle of a cornfield in Newton, Iowa, for next Wednesday night, 178 laps around the short track at Iowa Speedway?
Well, personally, just like tonight, I love the big tracks, but tracks in between, not a fan of, but the short tracks, love them. And Iowa's that special combination of needing the ability to manage and handle the car. If you drive it right, you don't have to brake, but you do have to shift. And being able to manage your way around Iowa is important to pick your way through, get passes. It is going to be a test of patience and skill next week.
There you go. A good 7th place run here tonight for Joshua Tucker. He is the proprietor of Let's Race, who was kind enough to sponsor tonight's doubleheader in the Auto Club Duels. Be sure, if you have not already, racers, to sign up for this Sunday's Shazebo Grand Prix. It'll be an IR18 race at Road America, so you get to venture up to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and take on the 4-miler in the IR18. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So the link is in the description for the Discord server. There you can find all the information you need to sign up for the Shazebo Grand Prix. And once again, thank you to Let's Race for sponsoring tonight's Auto Club Duel. So I know you didn't get to talk a whole lot here tonight, but Mr. Matt Williamson, thank you for turning this broadcast around on such short notice, and for hanging out with us here tonight and being our director. Thanks for keeping the ship on course tonight.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Shout out to Race First for allowing Tommy and myself to come on here and broadcast for them here tonight. Certainly great to get back in the broadcast booth with you, Tommy, my friend, and excited to see how the rest of Schaeffer's IndyCar series plays out this season.
Yeah, shameless plug for Turn 200 Productions. We're not in action right now, but we will be soon. We have a couple of things in the works, so we'll be back on our own channel in the meantime. Mr. Ryan Eric King, absolute pleasure to work with you after listening to you for so long. Thank you very much for your insight, for schooling the clueless, being myself and Mr. Matt on everything IndyCar here tonight. It was an absolute pleasure.
No, it was a pleasure working with you guys. Obviously, wish Gary was here, but you guys are definitely a fine A+ substitute
Oh wow, that's the first and last time I think we're ever going to hear that. But I appreciate it. And yes, so once again, sending our best to Gary Godso and his family right now, and hope to see Gary back here next Wednesday night. It'll be right here on Race First, same time. Kind of. It'll be earlier than this for sure, but same place right here on Race First, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Des Moines 250 at Iowa Speedway for round number 7 of season number 4 of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. And so for everybody here at Race First, for Matt Houston, for Matt Williamson, for Mr. Ryan Eric King, I have been Tommy Cook. Thank you all very much for coming to hang out with us here tonight. Until we meet again, we say congratulations to your winners here tonight, Nate Schaeffer in round number 5 and Nicholas Johnson in round number 6.
Let me do Gary's traditional sign.
Oh yes, let's hear it.
Thanks for watching, and for all our men and women serving in the nation's military, and to the first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and get home safe.
Amen.